What's up guys, Jason Julius here, and in this video we're going to talk about 4 of the biggest mistakes men make in the bedroom. Alright, so we want to give her amazing orgasms. Well, we better know some of the big mistakes that a lot of guys make when they're trying to give their woman orgasms and some of the mistakes that they make in the bedroom. And number 4 is probably going to surprise you. But number 1 is one of the first mistake that most guys make is not knowing where her sensitive spots are or how to stimulate them. So there's a lot of sensitive spots on a woman's body, and you should take your time and, touch her entire body and work your way down, taking your time. However, there are some spots that, when stimulated correctly, can lead to some of the best orgasms of her life. The clitoris being the first one, and that's typically how women masturbate. There's over 8,000 nerve endings condensed down in that little spot. And when you know how to stimulate it via oral sex or with your fingers, you can give her an amazing orgasm before or during sex. The other one is her G-spot. Her G-spot's about 1.5 to 2 knuckles in on the front wall. And when you know how to stimulate that, it'll start to swell up and can lead to a squirting orgasm, a vaginal squirting orgasm, which is one of the best orgasms she'll ever have in her life. And the third spot that I want to point out is her A spot. Her A spot is all the way in just before the cervix, the ring that goes all the way around her cervix. Don't touch her cervix, just before that. Those are the muscles that contract during orgasm. And when you stimulate those, it will give her an amazing orgasm and could actually lead to one of her first vaginal orgasms. All right, mistake number 2 most guys make in the bedroom is not taking the time to engage her mind. Us guys are turned on super quickly, like the flip of a light switch. Women take a little bit more time, like the slow turn of a volume knob. They need to get into the fantasy of what's happening before they start to feel desired. That's why sometimes, you think about women needing or wanting more foreplay, and that's a good thing to do to engage her mind. Maybe text her a little bit while she's at work and start to captivate her and pull her into the fantasy of being with you, and being the guy that's just always, present and knows how to engage and stimulate her mind is so important, and what a lot of guys don't do enough of to really pull her into the moment, because at least 60 to 70% of getting a woman to orgasm is getting her to an orgasmic state, a state of complete presence in her mind. And, if she's thinking too much, she can't get out of her own mind, she's not going to be able to orgasm. So we can do a whole lot by actually getting her present and knowing how to stimulate her, maybe even giving her an orgasm before sex begins. And then she's gonna already be in an orgasmic state and her mind will stay there, and she'll be able to have a lot more orgasms. Mistake number 3 that a lot of guys make in the bedroom is not taking their time. Now this goes along with the last one we were talking about, engaging her mind. If we take the time to tease our way down her body, tease around, when we're going to give oral sex and not go in for her sensitive spots. Take your time with her. It's gonna allow her mind to become more present. So it goes along with the last one we were talking about, but just take your time. Yes, there's gonna be times where you jump into it and she's so turned on, and you can have a quickie and all that kind of stuff. But think about it, in taking your time to make sure that she's fully engaged, and just work your way down. When you're going inside of her, don't go right up to her G-spot. Take your time and let her anticipate what you're going to be doing next. Another thing is being able to last long enough so that she doesn't feel hurried, right? So that goes along with taking your time. You can continue to have sex for 20, 30, 40 minutes, and she knows that she's not gonna be rushed. She knows she can take her time to become present, and then she's going to be able to orgasm inevitably quicker, because she feels that she doesn't have to rush, and she will be able to let go in her mind. And you can give her that amount of time and take your time to allow her to have a few orgasms before you ejaculate. All right, the number 4 mistake that men make in the bedroom, and I told you this one was going to be surprising, and it might be, the number 4 mistake is telling their woman that they're going to give them an orgasm. Doing what I've done for over a decade, having taught over 60,000 men how to give their women full body orgasms, I see it a lot where the guy learns something, he learns that first technique, and the first thing he does is he goes home, he's like, babe, we're gonna try this tonight. I learned this amazing technique and you're gonna have the best orgasm of your life. And he doesn't realize what that's doing to her psychology, particularly if she's never had an orgasm before. Immediately, her mind's gonna say, if she's never had an orgasm, nope, it's not gonna work. And so she's gonna already resist. And even if she is orgasmic to a certain extent, she's going to resist it in terms of she's going to put a lot of pressure on herself because she immediately sees that he wants her to orgasm. So she's no longer going to be orgasming for herself. She's going to want to be orgasming for him. And all that's going to do is make her mind very busy and make her try to orgasm. If she's ever trying to orgasm, that's going to be a huge roadblock because she'll never be able to let go in her mind. Now, I love it when couples will get, my female orgasm blueprint course and they'll go through it together. But one of two things is going to happen. She's either going to watch it and a new paradigm will open up for her and she'll allow her mind to understand that she can orgasm and she'll orgasm very quickly. But on the other hand, oftentimes that will lead her into a state of trying to orgasm, which is counterproductive. So what I'll tell those couples is to, take a step back and don't try to orgasm. Actually take the time to really understand what sensations feel really good. I was just actually emailing a client of mine a little bit ago and I was like, he's like, she did it once, but now she can't do it again. And I think there's all this expectation on her to be able to do it again. So I told him to tell her, look, babe, I don't want you to orgasm. I want you to just relax and, take the time to understand what you like and just let me touch you. I love to touch you. I don't care if you orgasm, it turns me on. Make her feel like what you're doing isn't for her, it's also for you so that she can relax her mind. And then inevitably, if she can just tune into the sensation and not be trying to orgasm, you can literally say, hey, I don't want you to orgasm. I just want you to understand what you enjoy and really just tune into the sensation and be present with me. The weird thing is that will actually, create that space in her mind for her to relax. And what she'll actually do is tune into how good it feels and inevitably have that orgasm. But taking that pressure off of her is so important. So that's what a lot of guys will do is they'll, learn a technique or learn a bunch of techniques and they'll run up to her and tell her that she's gonna have an orgasm. And that's kind of the opposite of what you want to do. If you learned them, just give her an orgasm and let her experience it through you. You don't have to tell her that she's going to orgasm. And if you watched it together and learned about it together, that's amazing too. Just take the pressure off and help her understand that, yeah, that's a new way that we can, explore your body, but there's no pressure. You enjoy doing what you're doing to her and you just want her to lay back and just really enjoy the sensations. And inevitably that will allow her to relax and have an orgasm. All right, so there you have it. The 4 biggest mistakes that men make in the bedroom when trying to give their woman amazing orgasms. And I don't want those to be roadblocks for you. I want you to learn. I want you to understand how all this stuff works. If you don't already know how to touch your woman's G-spot or give her a squirting orgasm, I do have a free educational video over on my blog at jasonjulius.com/squirt. So go ahead and check that out. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions. Hit that subscribe button because I have a lot of cool content coming up and I will see you in the next video.